lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Shout out D on the track, Paint Music Media. Shout out DJ Lee Productions, and I'm Al Ken. But if you a game changer, got my head, my grind on high, win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm full court press. I pledge allegiance to the best. Ain't nothing left to give it that reverence that the Father gets. So every day I work the sweat, can get a flesh another rest. They say go hard or go home. I say just do whatever's best. It's evident I'm blessed and I work like it. Fight like a Viking. Fight like a lichen. The difference is I like it, so I shine like I'm lightning. So I'm going head to head with certain depth. Who you liking? Yeah. So it's time for coach to put me in. I'm strapping on my shoulder pads, lacing up my cleats, and then I'm gone with the wind. Like I'm gone in 60 seconds. You can't hold me, you can't check me. Check the memo, check the message running through. Like I'm bad as I'm trucking whoever's standing in my way. Ain't no way you gon' stop me. You better off to let me in. Cause I go hard, even though they say no way that I could win. Like I'm Brett Ford, I'ma ride this way. My head to the sky, my grind on high. Win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Yeah, I told you once before, my God came to change the game. Different outlook on to life, a different way to play the lane. Now my rush and yours has got rocketing. Now I'm so insane. For the kingdom building, now my shot, it cannot be contained. So I'm gon' pray for change for myself and then what I can. I don't need no euros or no pesos or no money grams. Shout out to Wado, cause I know that he gon' play this fam. The FCA Sports Camp, game changer, summer jam. I don't need 100 grand to tell them that they need the lamb. It's heaven, it's just who I am. Al Cam, this where I stand. Man, I'm gon' play the fist. It's too deep to turn and quit. It's like I'm out from the trap to turn around, get back in it. Never that's not insane. It's evident your butt they chain. Like I'm Jack Johnson, the same year he changed his name. So I sacrifice my life for the cause, just to win. And if you a game changer, let me see you represent. My grind on high, win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Now put me in, coach. 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 I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm a game changer.
Hey, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? We back on another Friday, another one of those Fridays. Welcome back. This is your host, Minister Sedric, and you are listening to, once again, Relentless Pursuit. Man, I've had a great week, a tough day. Well, basically, a blessed but tough day. And I wanted to shout out to everybody, let everybody know that you're still here. I got my partner in crime on with me tonight. That's Chris. Chris, you want to say hello to everybody?
I'd like to say hello to everybody, and I want to welcome myself to the show.
Thank you, Chris. Welcome. Well, everybody, I know last week, it was the last Friday of the month, so we just kind of did a free-for-all, but tonight, Chris had something that was special on his heart, and you know what? It's great to know that you have partners with you out when you're out doing what you do. You may not be in the same city, you may not be in the same zip code, same area code. Sometimes you're not even in the same country. So, but everybody has something to add to your life. So tonight, Chris has something special on his heart. He just wanted to have a talk with us. So tonight we're gonna have a serious talk with Chris, and we are going to sit back, relax, however you choose to do this evening. Because, again, it's been a tough week. I know some of us might have gotten pink slips. I know there are a few people that I've talked to this week. They really did get pink slips. They said that the job is ending in a couple of weeks, and they don't know what they're going to do. I keep telling them to pray, but you know what? I found that when someone comes to you and you are a man of God or a woman of God, let's just say you're a child of God, that covers all ages, right? All our genders, male, female, it covers us all, right? We're children of God. But when somebody comes to you and they have a issue that they're dealing with and they tell it to you, I like to say this right here. It's a call to action, right? It's a call to action because how many of us could hear from a family member that they having a hard time and we don't want to help, right? Sometimes helping can be just listening. Sometimes helping means you got to roll your sleeves up and help move something. Sometimes you got to go in your pocket and reach out for some cash, but sometimes you just got to go with advice. But there are other times when you just have to sit and be silent. And so we gotta learn, and we got to learn to understand that. Because this whole thing about relentless pursuit, I'm telling you, whatever your pursuit is, it's yours, right? But the number one pursuit is a better relationship with Christ. Yes, because when you learn to have a great relationship with Christ, you learn to have a great relationship with your brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? All of our family members, no matter what color, no matter what region of the world they live in, we learn to have great relationships. So with that being said, Chris, I want you to go ahead and start us off with your topic, man. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I had an awesome week. Few bumps in the road. We are going to have the bumps in the road, and I just wanted to bring up a common topic that's normally talked about, and it's the middle class man. Working class. I know a lot of you understand that. The man who goes to work every day and comes home, pays his bills, and he looks up and says, I'm still not where I want to be.
Oh, okay. How did you characterize it? Well, what's that word you used, that phrase, that blue, what was it?
Blue collar.
Oh, the blue collar. Okay. Go ahead. I just want to make sure I'm with you.
I just want to touch on a few topics that a lot of middle class or blue collar workers, as we call them, we tend to miss out on a lot of things in life, and we tend to overlook our problems. And a lot of the times, if we sit back and talk about our problems and figure them out, we can change some things. Number one, I'd like to say is finances is a major problem for the middle class man. And the reason I say that is we work every day, we pay bills, and we still get no results. And I want to talk to the ones who is not getting results. The reason you're not getting results is we try to be like the Joneses. How many of y'all can relate?
What does that mean?
We try to get stable. We try to get ESPN extra. We have all these ticky-tack bills, not knowing that that's the reason that we're being held back. And another cause of that is a relationship. When you have a relationship, you both have to be on the same page, because one person is pulling you down. We tend to not see it because we're so caught up in trying to be like the Joneses. I got cable. You know what I'm saying? Yo, we just got a new car. Yeah, I bought some new furniture. But is that really what you needed at the time? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you brought up the relationship part though. You know, like how does that not being able or not wanting to keep up with the Joneses? I mean, how does that actually work with the relationship? Does it hinder the relationship? I mean, just how you look at it.
Well, how I'm looking at it, and partly my situation is we can't have everything the Joneses have. We haven't even put a foundation down to get where the Joneses are. The Joneses, they did things to get where they were, and we haven't done that yet. And a lot of times, if you look inside the relationship, what have y'all done to reach the status of the Joneses? Well, I go to work every day. I get some overtime. But yeah, you got Spectrum calling you. You got the credit card company calling you. You went out and got this car, and you thought it was a good deal. So now you can't save. You know what I'm saying? And all I'm trying to say is that minimize what you do. If you don't need a brand new car, don't get it. If you don't need cable, don't get it. You know, that's all I'm trying to say. Not having cable is not the end of the world. The environment that we live in says that you need cable or you're not popular. Well, we're not in high school no more. We're grown. We're grown men.
Don't leave. You ain't trying to keep up with the other popular kids, huh?
No.
You know, that's funny you say that, because you know what? I tell you one thing, and this is me and you talking. That is definitely that's just not a problem with couples. You know, that's a problem with people who are single. You know, people who are, you know, and they may be doing quite well. That's a problem across the board. That's a discipline problem, right?
Yes, it is. It's problems. Yes, you're right.
That's but it's funny how we meet people and we get ourselves in trouble. That's one thing I want to first say. I've been in financial trouble in my life, and it's like you said, we do it. You know, we try to go get cable. Like me, you know, I'm kind of cheap, right? What you call me, El Cheapo. I try to be frugal. I try to save money, but where do I spend my money? You know, I'm buying computer this, computer that. I'm going out to eat every day. Well, that makes a lot of sense, Chris. All right. So you mentioned that when you're not basically on the same page, I guess I'm gonna say it like that. Your second point that you were making about relationships, how does that affect your relationship though? If you can talk from experience, great. If you just know somebody who's had this problem, that's great. I know me, I can talk from experience because I used to be quite irresponsible. But what do you mean by that, and how does that affect the relationship? And how can somebody with that problem kind of get it back in line?
Well, the effects it have on my relationship is I want. We can't get it. We can't get that right now. Just wait. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, as a man, you have to open up to your significant other. Well, I have these bills, because when you come together, if you got bills, she don't know about it, or if she got bills, you don't know about it, that's a train wreck. That's a relationship for a disaster because the other one, well, that's not my bill. That's not mine. Well, we are together now, so that's our bill. And that's what I mean, getting on the same page. Let's tackle this one task or this one bill, and then we can move forward and we can have what the Joneses have. We might not have what's best or better than what they got, but we got close to it. You know what I'm saying? We can get some of that nice stuff that we long for.
Oh, okay, because I always think about that, and this has always been what I've heard a number of people. They get in a relationship. Now, first, and let me also put this out there. I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there. I don't believe in playing what we call playing house at this point in my life. So if I'm living with somebody, I'm married, but that's not a knock against anybody. I'm just saying I try to do it the way I believe God would have for me to do it. Once you come into the knowledge, you're held responsible. So now that I know in my heart and in my mind, do you share like a bank account? How do you actually disperse the bills? How do you have conversations? What actually happens? How do you know when you're coming up short on your bills? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes. The bills are with me in my relationship. I try not to overload, to get in the overload. I try to base my bills on the one paycheck, not, you know what I'm saying? I try not to go over that. And with her helping out, you know what I'm saying? But I base it on what if Chris was here by himself? Could Chris take care of this? Yes, Chris can. So that's how I base my bills. Until we get on the same page, it's a rough ride right now. We're coming back together, so we're trying to get on the same page, and I believe spending time at church like we did, that helped a lot, you know what I'm saying? And prayer, that helped me out a lot, People don't think so. They, well, what can I do? Well, I got to do it on my own. I don't believe that and all this. Just try it.
Mm-hmm.
One time a pastor told me, he said, just try it. Pray. It ain't going to happen overnight, but just try it.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to tell a lot of people. Just try them. Don't get out there and thinking you got to do all this by yourself, because can't no one man outside of Jesus Christ, our Savior, do it by itself. You know what I'm saying? It takes two. In the world today, if you're a middle-class man, it takes two. The average, I did a little study, and the average middle class, 35,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
okay.
That's not enough to take care of a family. You're gonna struggle.
Right.
So you need help.
Right.
And,
yeah, and I guess when the money come up short, it can add some tension in the house too, can't it?
Oh, believe me, you. Don't nobody want to talk. Everybody frowning.
Wonder when the next check coming.
Yeah. Everybody and not only the grown-ups are suffering. Kids are too.
Right.
They opening the refrigerator. We ain't got no juice. Well, drink some water. It affects the whole household, and that's why I came up with a plan. I think the smart thing to do is come up with a plan. But before I get to the plan, I wanted to touch another topic as far as the problem.
Go ahead.
I said finances and the relationship. Well, the environment. Where you live, where you reside, also plays a part. You know, whether it be outside too late, police is outside, and we're gonna give you a warning. Your music coordinates. You know, you got your music too loud. It's 10 o'clock. You know, all that plays a part. You know, drug infested. You know, environment. All that plays a part. You know what I'm saying? The kids are watching this, and as a man, you got to man up and realize, do I want to live in this environment? Do I want my family in this environment? It's hard. It really is hard.
Yeah.
So
I imagine.
You have to have a plan. That's why I wanted to talk about the plan. You know, you have to have a plan.
All right. So since we kind of we're talking about the middle class, upper and lower, just anybody who has financial struggles, because I know that I don't care how much money you make, you can have financial struggles, but that just takes me to a point in my head where I talk about poverty being a mindset. So in your plan, you know, let's go ahead and talk about your plan a little bit if you don't mind. I mean, you want to go ahead and talk about that, or?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm listening.
My plan, the first thing is continue to pray. You know, I can't say that enough. When I wake up every morning and open my eyes, I say, well, God gave me another chance to get it right. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thankful for that. The first thing I want to do is want to make better decisions. You know what I'm saying? Chris, do you really need that? You know, when you go to the store, do you really need that? Spend your money wisely. You know, make a budget. You know, you told me that best. You was living off of $50 a month when we was in Europe, and I was like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
That's one thing we got to learn is the budget, and the other thing is save. If it's nothing but $5 a week, put it up and don't touch it.
Yes,
You'll be amazed in a year how much money that will accumulate.
You showed up. All right, coming from my personal experience, and I'm saying this for everybody who's listening, and for everybody who may listen to this podcast, but you know, I mean, I'm not a financial professional, right? I do try to apply the things that I've learned throughout my life, and I don't believe you have to be a financial professional in order to keep your house in order. We'll say it like that. But what do you find, really, because I cannot think about this particular topic without talking about what goes with it. You know, when I was married and when my wife didn't work and everything fell on me, which was fine because that's the way we had planned it, thought that that's what men were. I've always believed that that's what men do. When we had financial troubles, though, man, I wasn't happy. Like I was irritable. Like you thought I was going through the change. You know what I mean? And,
right.
And I see today, I've had some experiences in my life when people aren't happy, whether it be the male or the female, they're not happy. You know, they tend to do things to make the household and the situation even more volatile. And as I talk to people of color, to our people, to black people, to actually anybody, most of the people I talk to, I don't get that they have a sense of unity when they're going through financial hardships. How have you been able to deal with that part? You know, the whole disunity thing. Like I'm upset because I don't have no money. Because that's how Sedric act. I'm a big kid when I'm broke. You know how I am. Well, you may not know, but I can tell everybody that's how I am when I don't have what I need. And how have you been able to push through those situations? Because I'm looking at it from a standpoint, you're giving me some valuable information, and I want everybody to from a very real point of view, I want everybody to know how they could possibly battle this stuff. Because, man, the economy is doing great. And they just released a report today. Oh, yeah, wages is up some 3%. But let me tell you something. The wages that are up are not the wages like by title, I'm a network engineer, okay? So when you look that title up in job postings, you can look at what they make. I can tell you now, I'm probably only making about $15,000 more in 2019 than what I was making in 2000. So that's a 19-year gap, and I'm not making that much more money. And so, how does that play? How does that? I mean, that wreaks havoc on relationships. How do you maintain that? How? I mean, I'm curious because again, I'm not married anymore, and it wasn't money that caused the troubles that I was having. Well, technically it was, but it wasn't the lack of money, I don't think. But how does the family dynamic navigate that? I guess I'm gonna say it like that. And I hope I didn't confuse you with the extras.
Nah, with me and my family, it's got to be one to three things going on. It's got to be the food, it's got to be the music, and it's got to be comedy / movie of some sort. That's the only way we get through it, because if we sit there and wonder and squander, like, hey, why we don't have this? Hey, look in there, you got some cheeseburger in there, some ground beef in there, some rice. You go in and make you something to eat, get your stomach full, drink you some water. You know what I'm saying? Or we can watch something funny. Everybody get their giggle on. You know what I'm saying? And as the hour, but as it gets later, people are tired and we want to go to sleep and wake up and see what tomorrow brings.
You know what? It's funny because I always tell people my mama from deep country, right? My mama from the country. But, boy, if that don't sound like something my mama would say, boy, you better go in there and eat you some of them. You better go in there and eat you some of them noodles. Mom, ain't nobody eating them noodles. I don't know what you're talking about. Boy, you better go in there and fix your plate with them beans on it. But let me ask you this. Do you feel like when you work the problems out like that makes the relationship a bit closer?
It does. It does. It makes us stronger because I feel like when you're in a relationship like that, and I tell men that all the time. I tell all my buddies, my friends, I say, the one thing that you have to do is have structure, and you have to be the man. You have to take charge. When the chips are down and everything is out of whack, the man has to take charge. If you fall out of whack, that woman gonna fall out of whack too, because she gonna be like, he can't even stand on his own leg. I can't. She ain't gonna stand up. If you ain't standing up, why she gonna stand up?
Right. So, but I mean, I'm laughing because that's funny the way you said it. But so what makes you so strong? What makes you so capable? How do you do it? Because I'm telling you, when I was a younger man, I had a problem. I mean, and the problem I had wasn't that I was afraid. The problem I had was I didn't know. I just didn't know. I was trying to, I was just trying to get it right.
Well, I don't have all the answers.
None of us do.
Like you said, your mom used to tell you to go get some noodles, get some beans. I have to think, what would my mom do? Well, the one thing she did do, she went to work.
Yeah.
I'm going to work and do my job and make sure we keep this roof over our head first, because it's cold on the outside looking in. You can have a job, but if you ain't got no roof over your head, what's the point? You know, the second thing is I don't want to fail. You know, in high school, my mom said, don't fail. You know, you need to pass, don't fail. So I took that as a key in life. When I seen the way she worked, she didn't fail. You know, I always had a roof over my head. Sometimes I didn't have that jungle juice or that bag of Cheetos that I wanted. I can go in the refrigerator and give me something to eat. You know, go in there and watch the little black and white TV we had on wheels. You know, I was able to do that. You know.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I just continue to go to work, and I continue to thank the Lord for blessing me. I know a lot of trials and tribulations are coming my way, and these bumps are sometimes the bumps is real big. I'm like, wow, God, you put this in my way. Why you put this in my way? Well, I've overcome all those big obstacles that were in my way, and a lot of my partners and friends, they said, man, how do you keep standing after what you've been through? Hey, it's life. It's part of being a man. I got to keep standing. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here.
Yeah. You know,
and,
I mean, go ahead, sir.
Now what I was going to say after that, I would like to talk about the solution. There's a solution. There's always a solution. It might not be the right solution for you, but it might be the right solution for the next man or the other man.
All right.
And
you know where I'm gonna go.
My best friend told me this, and he said, sit down and discuss it. Write it on paper, then execute it. If you don't do that, everything else is obsolete. It's not going to work. You have to do that. You have to sit down with your significant other and say, hey, okay, I feel like this is what we should do to get to where we need to be.
Yeah.
Are you with me? You know what I'm saying? You got to be with me.
Absolutely.
And relating it, and people say, well, how is this related to the Bible or to Jesus? Well, if you want to just get a little bit deeper, not too deep, I don't know if everybody knows that Jesus was a carpenter. Before he became our Savior, he was a middle-class worker just like me and you. So it was something that was said that, can you imagine Jesus making a table, how perfect it would be? You know, and I said that to say this. Whatever you do, whatever your craft is, try and be the best at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, you were speaking of, man. Yeah, you were speaking of that solution part, and I tell you, whenever I think about that, and when I think about like when I was going through the situation I was going through, I did reach out, and I reached out to some pastors, and of course, since I was married, we went through Ephesians and we went through Thessalonians, and they took me through a number of books in the Bible, and they showed me what sex was, and they showed me what a biblical marriage was. And, they talked to me about all that stuff, man. I mean, about all. But the problem I had is what you were talking about earlier. Is my problem was finances. When my money was funny, I wasn't the most. And the reason I'm even touching this again is when my money was funny, I wasn't the most sociable guy. Like, man, I needed this, I needed that, and I needed it. Really, not because I needed it. I needed to have it on standby just in case my wife needed it, if that makes any sense. And so the troubles that I ran into, because it really strained my relationship, but the troubles that I ran into forced me to go talk to somebody. So I went to this counselor, right? And I thought this was the most wonderful idea at that point. I showed up by myself, and I had to pay I think it cost me like $80 for this course. And it was basically a budgeting course, right? They showed me how to, it was really, really boring in the beginning. Showed me because they really teach you how to balance your checkbook, how to track all your expenditures. Well, I thought this is a waste of time until one day I finished that little course. It was only like 8-10 hours, right? It was really, really small, really simple. I didn't take my wife. Well, I started tracking all of our expenditures, and then I expected her to know everything that they told me in this budgeting class. I expected her to know. How did she get it? Osmosis? I didn't take her with me, right? But I expected her to know. But I tell you what, when you bring up that part about the solution, I found, because I hated that class and I didn't take my wife, I had to go right back through that class. But this time, we were together. And I tell you, man, check this out. I'm going to tell you how dumb I am. Man, she took like 5 pages of notes. I came out of there with about 3 words on a piece of paper. So she got all these notes. And the reason I bring that up is this. The solution doesn't come from just one person. If you want your household happy, it has to be both people. We both got to get knee deep in this situation. We both got to commit our lives to Christ. It does good. Don't get it twisted, because God can change the hearts of your loved ones just because you're praying. But doesn't it help when both of us are in it together? We both knee deep in this situation. Now we got to fight through this. We got to fight. I'm sorry, I got to calm myself down. But now we got to get through this situation. And that's the whole premise. I'm sorry, I can't even not be excited. But that's the whole premise. When I talk about a relentless pursuit, when I say those words, for me, it may not do anything for anybody else in this world, but when I say those words to myself, there's something inside of me that rises up. It's like now I got to get up and do something. And that's how I feel when it comes to being a responsible man. I don't care if you upper middle class, dirt poor, flat broke. It doesn't matter, because I always say this, because I got to jump back on this. Poverty, there's a mindset here. I don't care how much money you make. How many guys have we seen in the media over the last couple of years who were filthy rich, and now they were saying, I'm flat broke. I got to pay these attorneys. I got to do this. I don't have enough money. And that solution that you talk about, man, it's not a simple thing, and yet it is a very, very simple thing. If we would spend less than what we make, which means that we will be saving some money, over time, we could have every single thing that we wanted. Ain't that kind of a biblical principle?
Exactly.
If you don't store up when the harvest is good, when the harvest is bad, you ain't got nothing to fall back on, right?
Exactly.
Man, I'm finna start. I'm finna go there, but I'm finna calm down. But so I think this is really important for people to understand, and this is biblical. I hear it all the time when people say, "Well, but the Bible says that you should owe no man." I'm just going to tell you this from a financial standpoint, from a biblical standpoint, that is true. But I just believe it. Man, I wish Charles McCutcheon was available. I'm going to have to call Charles. I'm going to have to get him on because he's going to correct me on a few of my personal thoughts about finances. And Chris, I know you never met Charles, but Charles is a brother. As a matter of fact, he has a show on Elation Radio. Go Charles. And I met him. I had a chance to meet him in St. Louis, and we talked from time to time over the phone. The guy is a financial guru. He knows what he's doing. As far as I'm concerned, he's a guru. He knows what he's doing.
Okay.
It makes me hungry because I want to live the kind of life he's living. But back on your topic, and excuse me for deviating, but I think you're absolutely right. That plan, but we have to execute that plan together. And guess what? In my opinion, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to execute it perfectly. Oh man. So tell me more about your plan. I'm sorry. Tell me more about your plan. How you get it out there. or how have you introduced it to your significant other?
What I've said to her, we should go and talk to somebody, and she's willing to do that. And I said, well, if you're willing to do that, I'm willing to make some changes too. You know, sometimes when you're in a relationship and when you're married, one person is doing something the other doesn't like. So what are you willing to sacrifice to get it right? You know, it's a few personal things. Well, I don't like you doing that while you're driving. Okay, I won't do that today. You know, I will make that sacrifice just so that we can get on the same page and, you know, and get on track.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's what's important, right?
Right. You know, compromise with your significant other. Okay, if you don't do that, or can you cut down on that? Yes, I can. You know what I'm saying? If that's going to make our situation better, you know, I can do that. As a man, any man can do that. You know, as men, we choose not to. So I'm a man. I make all the money, and I'm going to do this. I said, that's not how it is. That's not how it's, you know, because then you got the woman, well, I'm going to go out here and charge this and charge that. And before you know it, you're in financial ruins. You know, I was listening to the radio the other day, and one lady, she said, well, my father passed, and he left us $75,000. And we have $125,000 in debt, and my husband's business is not doing so well. I have a new car, and he has a new car. And what do you think I should do? And he said, well, I'm going to tell you right now, you should pay your debt off because you have the money. You should get out of that $30,000 car, and he should get out of that $40,000 car and pay off all your debt, and you won't be in financial ruin. You know, and I just thought it made a lot of sense. You know, why would you get a $30,000 car, $40,000 car? Your husband has a business that's not doing well. You have $75,000 pretty much to almost pay your debt off. Get rid of one of them cars. You don't have to get rid of both of them. He said, well, I would, but get rid of one of them. That's why y'all are in debt the way you are. I thought he made sense.
Yeah, kind of sound like the young ruler when you go back to the Bible. He asked Jesus how he could get into the kingdom. Jesus said, "Tell her, give her everything you got away and follow me." And he kind of turned away, and he wasn't too happy about that. You know what? We have to make that tough decision.
Exactly.
We use the word sacrifice a lot, but I've always been told that obedience is better than sacrifice. You know, it's important for us so that we don't fall into a situation of peril, just like what you're describing. I can tell you now, I've gone that route before, and I tell you what I do, me personally, because I'm not married, haven't been for 19 years. Unfortunately for me, I figured I'd be married by now. But anyway, let's move on to this topic here. But I tell you what I've had to do. I've had to, check this out. Imagine owning your own business, and then something happens. The business slows down. You're living good. You're putting up money, but you do have a lot of debt. And I tell you what I had to do. And I'm just going to be honest. I don't recommend this for everybody. But if it's short term and you're just trying to get out of debt, man, I picked up a contract job. Let's just put it this way. I picked up a second job where that second job took care of all my debts. Again, thank God that because of the type of work I do, I always make very good. And so, but the only problem I had was I had to get up extra early in the morning. Now, this is sacrifice right here. See, if I would have been obedient, this wouldn't have happened. I had to get up extra early in the morning, so I was getting up 4 o'clock in the morning, going to one office by 5, working in that one office till 9:30, then leaving that office, going to this contract position, and I had to be there from 10 to 7 o'clock at night. And can you imagine going through that vicious cycle? And that's what it was. It was a vicious cycle. And sometimes I had to go out of town, had to go to South Carolina and North Carolina. So I had to juggle both of them because my clients, when they call, they expect me to show up. I don't care where I'm at. I could be on the moon. They like, hey, look, you got a 2-hour response time and you got a 4-hour time to be on site. One time I had to go catch a flight. Had to go to the airport. I was in Charlotte, go to the airport and fly back to Louisville just for a couple of hours. But those are those sacrifices. When you make huge mistakes, that's what happens to you. And that's what happened to me. And now I got to ask you, what do you think? I mean, would you be able to do that? Would your significant other allow you to do that sort of stuff? I mean, because we're talking about getting out of debt. And for me, I was trying to get out. I did everything I could. How crazy was that? It would have been a lot simpler if I just didn't do it. Uh-huh.
It's crazy that you say that. And sometimes our significant other, they don't agree with what we're doing, but okay, this is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to get out of debt. You got to roll with me. Sometimes, like I said, as a man, you know, what time you get off? Well, you know, we get off at 2:30, but I'm staying 5:30 today. Why you got to stay late? Don't worry about all that. They might get upset. They say, I'm getting off at 5:30 today. You know, and those are the sacrifices sometimes we got to make. You told me best. I said, well, working all these hours, I said, well, how do you spend time? And when I tell you it's hard, you know, I've done it before. You know, I'm sleepy, forcing myself to stay awake just to spend a little time with the family. You know,
Mama, I got times
when I fail, I went to sleep. Yeah. You fell asleep last night. You know, I was talking to you. Oh, I'm sorry, I was tired. That's the only excuse that's the only thing I can come up with. I was tired. But women don't get it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being a significant other, being the one that's abused, I tell you, I keep following the hardships, but I remember there was a situation once where a guy was dating a girl. They were about to get married, and this girl was so committed to everybody around him, and he just was kind of like, wow, okay, no problem. And the closer they got to the marriage, to the wedding, I mean, the more unavailable she was, to the point where he said he had a talk with her, and the talk went like, if I can recall it correctly, the talk was, you spend all your time. You spend all day giving all of you to everybody else, and then you come back here to see me so I can nurse you back to health. So you take from me, but you give everything you take from me to everybody else. And he was like, man, I just feel so, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I imagine that's what it must feel like when you're being that blue-collar guy and you're having financial struggles and you're having to make all of these sacrifices. Man, think of everything you're losing. Time with the kids, time with the wife or girlfriend. We'll say wife. Time with your wife. You know what? Your alone time with God. Can you imagine? Because I remember when I was working like that, man, I tell you, now, again, I was blessed because my situation wasn't a situation that was too stressful. I could walk around all day or sit at my desk, and I could read the Bible. I could listen to the Bible on my phone, so it wasn't so bad for me. But I imagine some people, like Chris, like you, can you listen to your radio and answer your phone when you're at work?
It's not allowed.
See what I'm saying? So you lose all of that. So if she wanted to call you and talk to you, she got to wait till you go on break to be able to check your phone. It could have been an emergency. And that's the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, that's the thing. I think a hardship and I think of all these things. But I tell you, Chris, see, I want now let's jump on your solution just for a little bit, because we got about another 20 minutes here. Let's jump on your solution just a little bit. What was the first part of your solution?
The first part is sit down and discuss and write it out.
So you're talking about making a plan. Now let's get to the nitty gritty, because when you make a plan, how did you come up with this plan? What made your plan? What made this plan, your plan, or however this plan came? What made it so good for you?
What made this plan so good is I just really started executing this plan, so it's I'm not going to say it's going to fail. I'm not going to say that it's going to work, but the plan is we got a book and we got everything wrote down. This is what we pay a month. This is the rent, the water, and this is what we got left over. This is what we're going to save. And that's the bottom line. We're going to do it like that every month from here on out. You know what I'm saying? We're going to save this. Okay, if you spend all your money up, well, got to wait the next payday before we get some more money, and we're going to save again.
So both of you sat down to do this, though, right? It wasn't just you decided,
right.
Hey, this is what's going to happen. Both of you decided on the budget.
Right.
So is one of you better with finances than the other?
I am. I got flaws. I'm not saying I'm the greatest budgeter. I do have my flaws.
Yeah.
She doesn't like it. I'm just gonna be straight up. I'm a gambler. That's one of my flaws. I'm a gambler. I've had my good days. I've definitely had my bad days where I tried to hide it. And now what makes my plan so much better than before, I'm not going to hide nothing. I'm not hiding nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because when you tend to hide stuff, it seems like you get more and more into debt. So what was that money we had? You had $100 over there. I only see $45. Yeah, because I was trying to hide something. That's why the plan is not coming together. So that's my main goal now. Is don't hide nothing, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and put your savings together and stick to this plan and ask God, for guidance, because I do need it. You helped me today. Today is a perfect example. I didn't go down there to gamble today. Didn't go. I wanted to real bad, but I said, nope, Chris, don't do it. Don't do it. So I'm trying to control my gambling. I'm trying to get it under control, so that's the first part.
Man, I mean, just with that, opening up that door, it sounds like there may be some broken trust issues right there. You know what I'm saying? Or just, I mean, at least it's not an addiction for you. You do it because you like it. But at least it's not an addiction. I mean, but that just opened up so many doors. I think that, again, everybody, thank y'all for listening in on Elation Radio, listening to Relentless Pursuit. But here we are, Sedric, Chris, we just having a candid conversation about some issues that we experience on a day-to-day basis and how we actually deal with them. So we're kind of hearing a little bit from Chris, and we want to keep on going. But what I was saying, Chris, is that man, it's something, because like for me, it's hard for me to fathom certain types of issues at this point in my life, but it's easy for me to get kind of nervous, like when I was engaged, man. I tell you what, I used to get nervous thinking about, man, I got to share everything I got. I got to be totally honest.
That's the
you talk
hard
about problems. Because for me, it created some problems. That, the thought of settling down created some problems. Not that I'm a womanizer or anything, but the thought of settling down for me was not just I'm going to be with one woman and all that kind of stuff. The thing that got me was I got to share my entire life. Am I even ready? And I had to really ask myself these questions. And I personally came to the conclusion that I'm ready. That decision was made, I believe that God had ordained the situation that I was in. So how do you navigate that? Because, like once you work that trust with me, especially financially, I don't know why the finances is so important. Well, I know why finances are so important with me. If you've gone through what I've gone through in my life, trust me, it will be important to you. But I talk more about money than I really want to. But, man, I just realized it's important to me that first and foremost, you got to have decent credit. I can't do it, man. If your credit score is too bad, I can't do it. You got to be financially responsible. If you got 2 or 3 bankruptcies and you're currently in a bankruptcy, I can't do it. I don't I don't care if our situation, if our personalities click, I know it's not godly to look at somebody like, to me, it's like I'm looking at them and I'm saying, this is a horrible person. I'm like being very judgmental, but I always fall back on that scripture that says we should be wise as serpents, but gentle as doves. I always fall back on that because I'm like, I know what's coming next, but I'm going to be nice about it. I'm going to be real easy, and it scares me. How do you stay in it?
Well,
I'm asking you for your plain old advice.
Well, you mentioned something. You said you got to share, and from one brother to another brother. I would have thought that would have been easy for you by you having 2 brothers and a sister, you know what I'm saying? Because I know your sister wasn't around much, but I didn't have nobody. It was just me. So when I got with my significant other, and sometimes they would say, why you don't like to share them? I said, well, I grew up the only son. I didn't have to share, and I had to learn. My mom would tell me, well, you got to learn to share, you know what I'm saying? That's something you didn't do because you didn't have a brother and sister, and it was very hard for me to, I got to give you a piece of this cake, too. I wanted to eat the whole thing like I normally do, but, I've learned it, since I've gotten older to share.
You know what's funny? I see that as the opposite. Like growing up, my dad was married twice, and my mom had her daughter. So growing up, I'm like number 10, right? I'm number 10. And my parents in age were 16 years apart, right? So my older siblings, the oldest 3 weren't too much younger than my mom. And so being number 10, you don't get much. You know what I'm saying? Everything's hand-me-down. Everything's left over. And when you're the smallest, you lose a lot. So you want to hold on to stuff. People give you stuff, but they usually give you stuff you don't really want, Like they give you hugs and kisses. And so for me growing up, it was, and also they pick your careers out. They tell you how you're going to do in school. They tell you how you're going to do in sports. Again, and that's the way it was for us growing up. And so it wasn't that I didn't learn to share, but I learned that sharing usually ain't the best way to go because you usually get the short end of the stick. So that was the little kid I was. I was that little big-head kid. I was like, man, I don't want leftovers today. I don't, But anyway, that was my little joke for today. But I think that when we talk about, man, the solution you know, because I imagine that you had, because you were having some money problems, and I told you one of my issues was I was shut down. I had communication problems. You know what I'm saying? And I tell you what, I never thought that well, you know what happened to me. I told you that a long time ago. But I never thought that having money problems could cause us to have communication problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know me, that when I do that about face, my head fall over to the side, and people didn't like that too much. They thought that I was very condescending. And man, just think of the problems that derive from this. All started, the whole issue started having difficulties as a blue-collar worker. We got into the financial realm, and from your finances being bad, you now have communication problem, right? Now you got a problem. You know, now you have sexual problems because I can't stand him because he's so broke. You say what?
All that plays a part, like you say. I can't stand you, brokey.
Yeah.
I can't stand you either, non-worker.
Yeah. And so now you have conflict in the house. All this started because of money, right?
Right.
And that's what's funny to me, because I like what you're talking about, but I know that when I was young and my parents used to get into fights, it was always over something. I mean, it led to trust issues. It was just one issue led to the next and the next and the next and the next. And even in my own personal life, that's kind of, because me, if I'm mad at you, I don't want to look at you, I don't want to touch you. Can we just avoid each other for a day or two? I call you on the phone and say, I love you and I miss you, but I don't really want to see you, right? Because it's how my brain works. And I don't know how to say certain things in person. I get all choked up and I don't want nobody to see me like that, right? I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking. But just, on the serious thing, I'm sorry?
No, I said we're totally opposite. Me, silent treatment. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gotta say nothing to you. Walk around there and don't say nothing. And I got to get better at not doing that, because I will give you the silent treatment. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gotta say nothing. I'm good. I got me something to eat. I'm watching me a game or watching me a movie. You know, but that's not good. It's not good for the relationship.
Yeah. You know what, man? I tell you what, man. I don't want to jump on my horse here, but man, I tell you what, I learned. I'm one of those people, and you know this about me. I'm one of those people that, man, I listen to all types of like self-help tapes. Nowadays, the CDs and YouTube and seminars. I go to seminars. I've been to many seminars. I read book after book after book. And man, I like the old stuff from the 1950s up to the 1970s and 80s. When you listen to the quality of it, it's the same. But when you listen to what they say, man, it just comes out so much differently than what's coming out in the 2000s. And I tell you, for me, once we get to the solution part, like you were talking about, man, I have to give myself a pep talk. I have to give myself a pep talk so that I can actually cope with what I'm going through, so I can actually get through it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when the mess happened, man, I can't talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Once I resolved that issue, man, I cut the cord and I keep going, but I started reading in my Bible. I start over. I mean, sometimes I go into 1 John. I really like reading that, but I call the book of Proverbs, and most people call it the book of life. If you study the book of Proverbs, you know, it's 31 of them, so you got, you just keep going through there. In a solid month, you can read the entire book of Proverbs. And I go through it. I do the basic thing, but the thing is, I want to encourage people on this matter right here. I want to encourage people to when you do find yourself, whether you're a blue-collar worker or white-collar, it doesn't matter. we all have financial hardships, and most of the time, financial hardships is because of our mindset. Most of the time, it's not because we lost our job. Now, a lot of times it is, but most of the time, it's not because we lost our jobs. And I'll tell you this: if you're working on a job, and this is something somebody told me a long time ago. They said you need to have at least 3 months worth of your bills in the bank. Well, I go further. I say you got to have at least 12 months. You need 1 year's worth of bills put in the bank. You know what I'm saying? Accessible,
right,
so that you can live. And the thing is, again, that may be overdoing it, but I'm sorry, I can't do it no other way. I'm like that. But coming back, I say I had to study the Word of God. I had to really get deep in the Word of God. And then I had to look in that mirror. And this is the tough part for me. You see, I have nobody to blame. There's nobody for me to talk to or talk about when something doesn't, if I don't have money to get things done. And here we go. We're talking about taking responsibility now. Here's the thing. I believe that we have to create what I call a self-care plan. And we have to take care of ourselves so that we are better able to take care of those around us. I had to take myself to the side, and I had to get myself together. This self-care, believe it or not, it had nothing to do with going to get my nails done, getting my hair cut, getting the facial, getting my toes done. It had nothing to do with that. It didn't even have anything to do with the gym. Again, the first step in my self-care plan, Chris, was to take myself, sit down, and start praying, just like you said. I want to pray. Now, of course, in my prayer somewhere, I asked God to take this away. I took responsibility, but I asked God to take it away. And I was nervous about it. Because I started saying, is this a self-care plan? Are you taking care of yourself this way? Well, I tell you what, when I did that, you know what it did? What it did for me is it started an emotional type of healing. I felt like I had been going to see my therapist because I was able to let it out, not be angry or any of that, right? And then this is what that led to, man. You just don't understand. That led to something big for me. I started that second job, and there was a passion there. I wanted to not just be a good contractor. No. It couldn't be like that for me. I needed to be the best that they had ever seen, right? Coming in, not knowing anything, I needed to be the best there was. Listen, this is therapy for when you're going through problems. This is what I learned. It was therapy. It was therapy for my soul. Man, I was suffering. And then also I had I got a lot of feedback, man. Also I had an intellectual need to talk to people, to be around people. And I'm telling you what, and with God satisfying that spiritual need, man, I was able to sit back, assess the damage, and then move on to bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? Because once you assess it, you say, this is what I created, this is all I broke, and then I started to feel empowered. Now, every day, and I only had to do this for a couple of months, to be honest, but what I did at the end of all of that, man, this is what I did at the end of all that. I created an environment for myself that was non-negotiable. This can never happen again, right? That's what I had to tell myself, that it would never happen again. I wasn't going to allow it. This can never happen again. So what I do now to remind myself is me personally, I'm a little different than most people. I read books on it. I actually still go to seminars, financial health seminars that they talk about wealth building and how to do this and that. I still go to seminars, and I still visit people to tell me how to have communication in a relationship, how to first love me before I can love someone. Man, I have incorporated all of that into what I would call a healthy lifestyle of living. And yet sometimes with at least 2 people or 3 people, I still have to control my temper. So I put in all this work, and I'm still not ideal, right, because I still have my flaws. But with your solution, man, just thinking about it and thinking about the things I've had to go through, man, it's just been a wonderful journey for me, and I look forward to the rest of the journey because I want to be I want to continue to be what I would consider an optimal. I was going to say overachiever,